got to feel good for the simple reason that feeling good is natural to you, not to try to make things happen. And that's what goes squirrely in those of you who come from the action-oriented world into this world of creating through the focus of your thoughts and creating through the feeling of the emotions in your solar plexus. So often you come to this work and you apply the same things that don't work so well for you in your action-oriented world to this. For example, you say things like, okay, I'll do that. I will work to feel good. I'll pay the price of feeling good, Abraham, if it will get me that. Well, there's the rub. Because in the doing it to get that, which I don't have, now I'm introducing resistance into my own equation. Do you feel what we're talking about?
Yeah.
But when you want to feel good because you want to feel good, every single thing you want, pile of money, beautiful relationships, circumstance and events, everything that you want is because you think you will feel better in the having of it. But you've got to turn it around. You got to feel better because you want to feel better, because you want to feel better, because you want to feel better. You cannot have the ulterior motive of needing to fill this void with that, because that motive of needing to fill this void will keep this void alive and active forever. You see? Did you hear that?
Yes.
We are shouting. You don't need all of that to happen in order to feel good. That's why it can be unconditional. That's why we're so good at it. There are no conditions for us to resist. We are unconditional. We know what you want is done. We don't need the manifestation to be there. The condition is irrelevant to us. That's why we're able to stay in the high vibration. You got to find out a way to do that too, you see. You got to talk yourself in to feeling good unconditionally. Did you get the job? No. Why are you smiling? I just feel good. But why do you feel good? You didn't get the job. Well, what's that got to do with anything? I just feel good. Did you win the lottery? No. Well, you look like you won the lottery. What's the matter with you? Why are you so happy? Because I just feel good. Why do you feel good? Because I want to feel good. Because I'm not thinking thoughts that keep me from feeling good. You're starting to make me not feel so good. I think I'll go somewhere else. But unconditional. I feel good because it's natural for me to feel good. It's natural for me to feel good. It's natural for me to feel good. And so, why do you want to feel good? Are you kidding? Are you kidding? Why do you want to feel good? Because it feels good to feel good. Oh, I thought you were feeling good in order to make something happen. Feeling good is making something happen. Feeling good is the manifestation that I'm really looking for. Feeling good is the reason that I'm doing everything that I want, everything. Feeling good is the ultimate manifestation. It's what it's all about. And I can feel good unconditionally. Well, how do you feel good unconditionally? By focusing upon something that's easy to feel good about. Well, isn't that a condition? By finding the feeling in something that feels good. Well, isn't that a condition? Well, thought about money and I didn't feel good, and I thought about dancing and I felt better. That is sort of conditional, but I found something that I already had momentum going. I found something where I already felt good, where I didn't need a change in conditions to continue to feel good. Ooh, okay, so we're onto something here, aren't we? So you're standing, always reaching for more. But in the reaching for more, if you can just be satisfied with what is, the more must come. But if you're dissatisfied with what is, then the more can't come. So it's through appreciation of what is, by finding anything and everything that you can find to feel good about right now. And it is our promise to you, it will get better and better and better. Esther went right back to the basics. She took her notebook, believed us, took us at her words, and sat for an hour one morning and just wrote the word fun. 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 And she couldn't write the word fun long before she started to receive images and thoughts and ideas, suggestions of what is fun. So she's writing fun, and she's thinking about the trip down the river. It was really fun. And then she's thinking about fun, and she's thinking about the treasure hunt with the grandkids. And then she's thinking about fun, and she's thinking about friends on the cruise who are so fun. She's thinking about fun, and then images of really fun people came into her mind. She's thinking about fun. In other words, she couldn't just stay on the singular word fun. It began filling in with things that are fun. Law of attraction works that way. And so she began just feeling fun. She just began feeling fun. Then she began writing the word lighthearted. Then she began writing the word clarity. Clarity was a breakthrough for her, because when she began writing the word clarity, and she realized how clear she was feeling, how good it feels to be clear-minded, how good it feels to have clarity about things. Someone asks you a question and you're in a state of clarity. It's easy to offer the answer. When you focus in a way that you're not introducing clutter in this moment, it clears out. It just does. And as you do it the next day and the next day and the next day and the next day and the next day, you just, these are not the best words, but maybe they fit right here well for you. You clean up your point of attraction. You just clean it up a little bit at a time until you stand in this place of being blessed. You just stand in this place where you expect good things to happen to you. And then everywhere you go, people treat you nice. Everywhere you go, things turn out the way you want them to. It's just everything happens nice for you. And then eventually, usually, sometimes you'll meet up with somebody, usually somebody you know, usually someone who knows you, who feels jealous of how well your life is going when their life is not going so well. And then they will say to you, as they say to Esther, well, it's because you had money that happened. And Esther said, that did help. That helped a lot. That helped a lot. But the money came in the same way that comes. It all comes in the same way. And then that person who said that just blocked the flow from themselves. They stopped all the well-being that was on its way to them that day by making that statement, by making that comparative statement, by saying, you get this for this reason, and I don't have that reason. You've got a condition in your life that allows that good to come to you, but that condition is not in my life. Therefore, I do not believe that will come to me, so it cannot. You see how it works? Have any of you had the sensation, as we've been moving forward here today, of the mutual discovery that we have had in the explanation of some things? Can you feel that we didn't just come with a list of things that we wanted to say in a way that you could hear them, but that your questions and that your participation, even those of you who are not in the room, who are around the world, who are having thoughts about this, are all dovetailing for this co-creation at its best? In other words, together we are experiencing what you are living, and the database that you bring to it, so to speak, the basis of what you're looking for and who you are. And then we dovetail all that we know and mix with that everything that's in your vortex. And depending upon where you are, we are having some really remarkable moments here where we are taking thought beyond that which it has been before. There is never, ever going to be satisfaction. Oh, this is what you're reaching for. Source is not getting kicks by you catching up. It's not about you finding your worthiness and finally learning it. It is together we are co-creating into something that has not been before. And it takes both aspects of that. It takes your willingness to explore and want for something that hasn't been, and our stability to hold the steadiness of it until you find your way to it, you see. Oh, co-creating at its best. And such exhilaration for you and such exhilaration for us. So much so that we can say that your joy is ours, your excitement is ours. In other words, what you're feeling is the satisfaction that we feel, not just because you finally caught on, but because we all went to a place we haven't been before. You get that? That matters to eternal beings like the likes of all of us. What do you think keeps this world moving around the way it does? It isn't you. It's the trajectory. But this is the biggest misunderstanding of humans. Humans think that they're here to prove worthiness to something, and then they reemerge into non-physical, which is finished. But it could not be more the other way. It's that here, as you come from source, you explore and you redefine who you are and what you want, which means you continue to bring source forward into this time-space reality. And everything that we've been talking about all day here today and every day that we ever visit with any of you is to help you to realize that we are all in this together. And when you tune yourself to the frequency of your source, then you will be the realizer of that interest. So many of the ideas, you say, I got an idea. We say, yes, you did. Yes, you did. Because you realized, you turned the thought to something tangible by being in the vibrational vicinity where the thought was, you see.
Say that again.
Here's an easier way to understand it. So you're extensions of source energy, but you are not separate from source energy. You are extensions of source energy. So you hold two perspectives at all times. The potential for two, better when it's one. So here you are in your physical form, exploring in more detail and more conditionally than source does. As you explore more conditionally than source does, you launch rockets of desire about the improvement of conditions, because source does not focus conditionally or as detailed as you do. Source maintains the vibrational countenance, and when you launch the new rocket, source holds that, and then you make your way back to it for the manifestation of it. So Esther realized more profoundly than ever before once Jerry made his transition, because she's been playing with us for a long time. But when Jerry made his transition and she started trying to feel where he was rather than being so aware where he wasn't, she began to feel his interest in so many things that she was about. Not just the Abraham work, although that is where his keenest interest is, but in the finding the piece of art for the house, or the finding of the perfect plant for that perfect spot, or the finding and the implementation of the replastering of the pool. Everything that he was ever interested in, he is interested in and more. No withdrawing, no leaving, just not conditional interest anymore. Just no resistance in his interest anymore. So if Esther is all wadded up in some problem, she can't feel the clarity that she now realizes is Jerry. Well, all of the Jerrys and the Abrahams and the source, it doesn't matter what you want to call it, everyone who has ever lived, who has reemerged into non-physical, is still keenly interested in what you all are about. And you all have access to their advantage, to their broader perspective, to their knowing. And what is it that they predominantly know that you don't know? They know where you are in relationship to where you want to be and what the probable path of least resistance for you is. And so they're with insight in every moment, more insight, offering something that you may or may not be vibrationally up to speed with enough to be receiving of. But once you start getting a whiff of this, once you start realizing that it's happening, once you start deliberately preparing yourself vibrationally for the realization of all of this, when you say, I just got a really good idea, it would be better if you said, I was just the receiver of the best idea because I created the atmosphere that made me receptive to the idea. But sometimes humans, you're so determined to prove your own worthiness that you separate yourself from that unconditional love. Ooh, did you hear that? I need to go it alone, source. Don't help me in any way. I know you know the path of least resistance to everything that I want, but I want to prove myself worthy to you, so I will deny you completely. Interesting, isn't it? You're getting a different understanding of how this all fits together. Now, usually when you wake up in the morning, you remember what you were thinking about yesterday, or more important, you re-achieve the emotional feeling place of what you were feeling yesterday. It's like, oh yeah, I remember I'm not happy. Or, oh yeah, I remember I'm lonely. I'm lonely now. Or, oh yeah, I remember I'm confused. But what we want you to realize is that you don't have to be the same lonely today that you were yesterday, because that night's sleep changed the momentum. But when you wake up in the morning and you deliberately, and you do, call those same people, talk about those same things, focus in the same ways, you reactivate your vibration much as it was before, but you do not have